It's on.
Oh, it's on.
It is so on.
Pull up a chair, grab a cold one, smoke 'em if you got 'em. It's time for the Fan Happy Hour.
On the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 and 1080. The Fan.
Here's your host, Luke Anderson.
Hey, hey, hey! Happy Monday, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thanks for dropping in for our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're on YouTube, here is a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. If you're on YouTube, feel free to send us your chats right there. If you're listening, use the fan text line 503-864-6326. That spells 503-2GO-FAN. We'd love to have you join the conversation, share your thoughts, ask questions on any topic, or just send Jeff Rust welcome back notes. Jeff Rust, welcome back.
Right on. How you doing, sir?
More importantly, how are you doing?
Oh, just dandy.
Good. Glad to have you back. Did you get a extended weekend, or were you in here for some Ducks game day?
I was in here for Ducks game day.
Oh.
Yep.
Just didn't want to do my show.
Yeah.
I see what happened.
Had some stuff pop up.
I get it. No worries. Glad to have you back. This is a Monday show, so we always have to get you kind of caught up on the take your pick. You were our winner last week, Mr. Rust.
Yeah.
And then you skipped Thursday.
Yeah.
But normally we get down to Monday night games and you've got a few people in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
This week it is clean as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
2 people
Okay.
tied with 10 wins. We've got Jake, our social media guy.
Excellent.
We've got a guy named Sam.
Gotcha.
Sam has the Eagles. Jake has the Packers. It's
Ooh,
that easy. That's it. That's all we got to do.
There we go.
You've got your winners. Jake's rooting for the Packers. Sam's rooting for the Eagles. Whoever wins will be invited to join us on Thursday. If you've never played along, you should. It's awesome. We will have the winner tomorrow. We'll try to get out the Week 11 pick'em as quickly as we can. But for Jake and Sam, good luck, gentlemen. Tough weekend for the aggressive Orange Otters. They suffered a loss on Saturday.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, well, it's not great. That
No.
8-9-year-old girls basketball is pretty intense. But they'll bounce back. Feeling good about this coming week. We'll get in some good preparation. We should be fine. Coach Luke has some plans. Got to be a little quicker with our decision-making. It's where we're at.
There we go.
But Sunday, I got a late invite and got to go up and watch the Seattle Seahawks
Ooh.
play some football.
Mm-hmm.
Had a really nice time. I got to go with my cousin, my brother, sister-in-law, and, great time pregame. And then during the game, got to get a pretty sweet nap in, which was fantastic. I wish that were not a true story, but it is. Took a little siesta. I don't know. It's third quarter maybe. But, man, the Seahawks, they look like they might be for real. I'm
Right.
still anxiously awaiting Sam Darnold to need to do something in crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up with 3 turnovers on the day yesterday, but they were so good in the first half that it was just completely inconsequential.
Yeah,
So you had
let's face
a
it,
fumbled snap.
You can get away with errors against the Cardinals.
Well, when you have a 28-point lead, I believe, if I heard this correctly, this is only the third time ever a team has had 28-0 leads in back-to-back games.
Wow.
Whew.
That's crazy.
They took it to the Commanders. They absolutely took it. But DeMarcus Lawrence picking up 2 fumbles for scoops and scores. I think those were the first 2 forced fumbles all year for the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
They have not been the turning us over defense that is out there, but they have been really good at pressuring the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew it was just a matter of time before you get a hand on a football, knock it out. But DeMarcus Lawrence just not even breaking stride in picking up either fumble. So, yeah, the place was going absolutely crazy. It was awesome. And it was just, it's a good reminder that, the ball is going to bounce your way some of the time. And if you have relentless pressure, it's going to be inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wish you didn't waste both of them at the same time. But the offense for the Seahawks looked really great in the first half and then just kind of pulled the foot off the gas. I haven't seen any updates. Seahawks did lose their first 2 centers, I believe, in the game. So I have not seen any update on Sindel or who's the other one? Oluwatimi.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I'm not
so
seeing anything either.
you've got a couple injuries there. You were playing without some guys on the defense, so I think everybody just stepping up. Cardinals look like they're going to be in a little bit of trouble trying to dig out of that hole, but this week is going to be a big one. I mean, because another team that really took care of business was the Los Angeles Rams. They went out and looked really good against the 49ers, 4 touchdown passes from Matthew Stafford. You're starting to figure out which teams are good and which teams are bad. I hate to say I said so, but the Commanders, large part due to injury, but they did not look good either. So you get a win against the Commanders last week where you feel like the Seahawks are looking really good. Cardinals won last week and come into this game, so you're like, okay, can the Seahawks do the same thing again? They take care of business. Commanders look terrible again. But now you've got a matchup with the Rams, one of 2 in the next 5 weeks, I believe. So it's going to be a real big one.
Matt Stafford, I believe now officially over 500 as a quarterback for the first time in his career.
Over 500?
Mhm.
What?
A 500 record.
Wait, what now?
Yeah. Like
his career record.
Yes.
Okay. Well, he did play a lot of years in Detroit. That's a pretty tough one to dig out from. And he's not at 500. He's over 500.
I believe, yeah. Let me
right.
find this tweet again.
Well,
but yes.
yeah. How about that, Matt Stafford?
Right?
Yeah, I love to see that. But yeah, no, this week is going to be a ton of fun. It was definitely a weird week for the NFL. The Colts kind of dragging their way to a victory on the back of Jonathan Taylor at the end of that game.
Huh?
That one was awesome to watch. That's a one game that we got to sit and watch, at least the finish of, while we were kind of outside of Lumen Field. So that was a great game to be able to watch. But yeah, looking at, some of the results, just very puzzling, and we'll get into a few of them with the dumb things that I said last week. But it started off with a really kind of blah game on Thursday Night Football with the Broncos beating the Raiders. And then you got some games that were pretty interesting. Bears, are they good? I hard to say. They end up getting a coach fired, so congratulations.
It was funny. I was driving around Sunday morning a bit listening to the old ESPN radio, and they're doing their kind of whip around the league, looking at games, and they talk about the snow game in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I get home and turn on the red zone, and I'm like, what?
There was a flake fall?
What snow? Like there was maybe a couple little flakes falling.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, if it snows at all, we got to sell it, right? So it's all about getting the perception out there that it's getting to that time of year where games are getting cold and it's getting a little dicey. Ravens have clawed their way back to within 1 game of the Steelers, so that's going to be a fun little race down the way. Had a bunch of bad teams lose. Patriots get another big win. We might have to start considering them as one of the top teams, which
weird.
I did not have at the beginning of the year. I mean, it's weird and it's not, though, right? I mean, the Patriots were so good for so long, but now doing it with Drake May, who just seems to be, everything you would want at quarterback. We shouldn't be surprised that Mike Vrabel's a good coach. I don't know why we forgot that, or Tennessee decided that he was too rough and tumble to coach football.
Right.
Texans get a win, so that puts them potentially in the race to get into one of those wild card spots. I don't know if anybody's going to catch the Cardinals in that division. I'm sorry, the Colts in that division. So yeah, interesting weekend of football, but I will say maybe we don't need Sam Darnold to do anything. Just win every game in the first quarter.
Yeah, there we
just go out and take care of business. I don't hate it.
Right?
I sure would be nice. I don't necessarily want it to come down to the final play against the Rams. It'd be nice if they can just go out and house them. I do not see that coming.
Yeah. Just go out and call the touchdown play.
I mean, it works. If you call it on offense and defense, really, now you've got a strategy. That was something else. With that, should we do some jokes?
Let's do it.
All right. A lot of jokes against the Commanders. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn is finally taking over defensive play calling from Joe Witt Jr. after they gave up 44 points and 546 yards to the Lions.
That's a lot.
That was a big coaching change, but the real headline, Quinn says he's going to talk to his locker room about proving their effort. That's where we are right now. Dan Quinn is reminding men who make 8 figures a year that they still technically need to try at their jobs. Probably not. Was it Wednesday that we listened to audio from Dan Quinn, and he sounded dejected.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get fired because a lot of this has to do with injuries, but not great. Speaking of the Washington Commanders, defensive tackle Darren Payne was suspended a game for punching Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. And look at the decisions he made. It's dumb to get tossed out of the game, sure. It's even dumber to punch a guy wearing a helmet and maybe break your own hand. But it's Hall of Fame stupid to get suspended right before the team is flying to Madrid to play their first game in Spain. Come on! Dude, I don't really keep up on international storylines all that much. Mm-hmm. Do we hate Spain? We're sending them Dolphins Commanders next week. I feel like that is an insult.
These Europe games, they never are a typically great matchup.
Well, I'll tell you, this one is probably the worst one of the year so far. Maybe. I don't know. We send the Jaguars over there a lot, so I do know that. So
yes.
There you got it. And finally, in case you missed it, Brian Daboll is out as Giants head coach. The team is 2-8. He was 20-40-1 overall, and they just became the second team since a merger, joining the 2004 Seahawks, to lose 2 games in a season after leading by at least 10 points in the final 4 minutes. They threw every stat they could at him, but the truth is simpler. If you are bad enough, consistently enough, to make Bo Nix look like Joe Montana and then make Caleb Williams look like Bo Nix, you've earned your pink slip. Congratulations, Mike. It's the quarterback calibration firing rule. So if you make people look that much better than they actually are, it's like, it might be time to go. Our head of engineer, Josh, was in here. He's going to put in a clock to make sure we stay on it. Look at us. Ooh. It's not even set up yet.
Yeah.
And I'm right on things. At 2:30, we're going to play a game we called Tape Don't Lie. That's where Russ plays back the dumbest things I said last week. And I apologize, deny, or defend my statements. But right now, we need to get to the Daily Buzz. We do it next. This is 105.1 The Fan.
attention. It's the Daily Buzz on the Fan Happy Hour.
The Buzz.
Here's your host, Luke Anderson.
Boy, it is Monday, and it is the day that I apologize for the dumb things that I say, but I hate to have to start off the Daily Buzz by apologizing for stupid things that you said.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. What was your stat correction, young man?
Well, yeah, after 17 years in the league and a Super Bowl title, I had said that Matt Stafford had officially surpassed a 500 winning percentage for his career. I was incorrect. He is at 500.
So at no point in his career he was ever at 500. So he lost his first, few games and then just never made it back up.
Pretty much.
And how many games has he played? What's his overall record?
Well, let's see here. We got 17 years.
Well, I don't think he played them all. But either way, we'll have you effort on that. We will dive into the Daily Buzz. Seahawks rout the Cardinals 42-22. Are you a big scoregami guy?
I mean, I find it interesting.
44-22 has never been a score of an NFL game until Sunday, where it happened twice.
Yeek.
How about that?
By the way, 231 games in his career for Matt Stafford.
Wait, now he can't be with an odd number of games. Does he have a tie in there?
He does.
There you go.
115, and 1.
All right. How about that? Congratulations, Matt Stafford. Seahawks started out the game with 35 unanswered points. Of note during the game, Jason Myers passed Steven Hauschka to become the Seahawks' all-time leading field goals made with 176. Seahawks ran for 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, calling runs on 78% of their fourth quarter offensive snaps, which you absolutely love to see, being able to do it and do it effectively, because earlier this season they've tried to go out and just run and finish the game that way. But that's all they had to do to finish it up. Jackson Smith-Njigba surpassed 1,000 receiving yards for the season. He is at 1,041. They might be good. Veteran defensive tackle Jaron Reed was placed on injured reserve. He needed to get a second surgery on his wrist after a setback in Week 9, but they are optimistic that he will return before the end of the season.
The Buzz.
Oregon Ducks get a narrow victory in Iowa City, 18-16 over Iowa. Took a 39-yard field goal by Atticus Sappington at the end. The Ducks are extending their road win streak to 11 games. That is the longest in FBS football. I am on a hiatus from college sports. Did you watch the Ducks games, Mr. Rust?
I did.
And?
Good game.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to be able to win the close games at the end, right? I mean, Iowa's whole goal is to drag you down into it. I did go back and watch the highlights. And you've got a lead at the end. The lead disappears, and go out there and make plays when you need to at the end. It's exactly what you want from your team. I mean, the Ducks are in a very different position than they were last year, right? They're probably not going to be one of the top 2 teams in the Big Ten, which means you may get that luxurious spot of being good enough to be in the playoffs, but not have to play in a championship game.
Right.
They've got 3 games.
Worked out okay for Ohio State last year.
It worked out fantastic for Ohio State. Yeah. 3 games left. They've got Minnesota on Friday, which leads me to a programming note. You and I will move things up 1 hour. We'll have Ducks game day start at 2 o'clock, so you and I will do a 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock show.
Gotcha.
We're going to basically switch spots with the Ducks on Friday. But yeah, you've got the Minnesota Golden Gophers on Friday. Then you've got USC. Then you've got Washington. That's it. Yeah. So 2 more home games, and then you go to Washington, who had a tough loss this weekend at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
As Duck fans know, not an easy place to go on the road and play. It didn't look great last year when they had to do that, and it's a team that, despite their record, wants to play physical Big Ten football. And when you get into November, makes it difficult.
And Wisconsin's leading passer with 24 yards was it the punter or the kicker?
I did not see that.
Fake punt.
Well, that's never the ideal situation.
The Buzz.
Cal Raleigh Silver Slugger, his first Silver Slugger award. So congratulations to the catcher that put up 60 home runs on 125 RBIs. Didn't feel like that was going to be a long shot for the American League backstop. Shohei Ohtani gets his as a DH in the NL. Aaron Judge as an outfielder. Jose Ramirez gets his. Juan Soto won his 6th consecutive Silver Slugger award.
The Buzz.
Some great games around the league. You'd mentioned Matthew Stafford already. He is leading the NFL with 25 touchdown passes this season. He has 20 TDs with 0 interception in his last 6 games. That is pretty good. Tom Brady was making fun of Stafford for jokingly saying that the 37-year-old Stafford has at least 8 more years left to play, referring obviously his own longevity. I do not see that coming from Matthew Stafford, but hey, man, it wouldn't be a bad way to kind of go out on top, and it feels like this Rams team is a little scary good. So I'm very excited to see what happens when they go head-to-head against the Seahawks this week.
The Buzz.
This is kind of a interesting, I guess, feel-good story. Alex Singleton, linebacker for the Broncos, had to do a random drug test.
Yes.
Well, they didn't find any drugs, but they did find some cancer. Ended up being testicular cancer, and he had what sounds like successful surgery to treat that. So everything sounds good, and it was kind of a random thing that you find, but great to have, especially, coming out of the Cancer Awareness Month in October. I know the NFL always makes a big push for that, but always good to see things go in the positive direction.
The Buzz.
You want to hear about the worst quarterback performances from this week?
Yeah, sure.
The EPA, the expected points per play evaluation, your worst quarterbacks of the weekend, Geno Smith, -18 EPA, so expected play compared to the average. Bo Nix, -11. They win. Jacoby Brissett, they played head-to-head, so that was your Thursday night game. Thanks for starting the week off great, guys. Jacoby Brissett, -10 against the Seahawks. Obviously, the 2 fumbles were not great. And Bryce Young, right when we think the Panthers are going to turn around and be good, he goes out and lays an absolute egg. Drop back, his 27 dropbacks equated to 102 yards. Yikes. And Daniel Jones did not play well, and that's a scary thing if you're watching the Colts, is that you don't really need him to. That running game is absolutely ridiculous. After a tough week against the Steelers last week, the Colts come back and just hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor, and that's all they need in overtime. He's just dragging the Falcons right down the field and scores the go-ahead game-winning touchdown. Kind of a fun one to watch, and definitely an interesting thing to see how dangerous this team really is. So yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of we're getting to the point where the NFL is really starting to show us who's good, who's not. And if I had to make guesses, the Colts, do you think anybody catches them?
See, the Colts to me at this point, though, they feel like one of those like early 2000s Sacramento Kings teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, they're coming out super hot. They look unbeatable, and then they get hit with reality.
Yeah,
and and like in the Kings case, they would get hit with defense when it gets to the playoffs. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, the way they won that game, it feels like you get down, or you get in these battles at the end. Usually it's relying on your quarterback, but to have a team that can go and rely on their running game at the end of games, that's where it feels a little bit scary to me. But here's your division leaders right now. I mean, the Bills take a tough loss against the Dolphins of all teams.
What the heck, man?
I don't know. Super bizarre. So you've got the New England Patriots at 8-2. They've already beat the Bills head-to-head in their first meeting. So they're leading the Bills, who are 6-3 in that division. So Patriots, yeah?
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Steelers still have to play the Ravens twice. They are 5-4 leading that division. Feels like the Ravens, if they can stay healthy, especially at the quarterback position, their defense wasn't good to start the year. They were absolutely awful. Derrick Henry was fumbling the ball all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you trust either of those teams at this point?
I would, with Lamar Jackson back with the Ravens, it's easier to trust them because it's a little bit of a difference there between Lamar Jackson and Cooper Rush.
Well, that and Aaron Rodgers is kind of hit or miss, and
Yes.
when he's missing DK Metcalf down the field, we expected them to go and add some guys at the trade deadline, maybe to help that receiving core, and that didn't happen. So I don't know that I believe in the Steelers. I'm probably leaning towards the Ravens.
Yeah.
Colts are leading their division. They've got a 3-game lead over the Jaguars. I don't think anybody's catching them in that division. The other division leader is the 8-2 Broncos. I definitely don't believe in them. They've got the Chargers and the Chiefs chasing them. So maybe your best team is the Colts. It's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
All right. Well, we've got it. Let's run through the NFC since we've got it up. Eagles play tonight against the Packers. Those are both division leaders. A lot of faith in either of those teams?
Eagles, sure.
Okay.
They
I mean,
keep
they're-
finding ways.
They're not leading. I don't think they're in the top 20 in offense or defense right now, but they do just find ways to win. They're defending Super Bowl champions, so I'll give you that. The Lions could potentially leapfrog the Packers if the Packers lose tonight.
Right.
So that put the Lions in. The Lions were in the NFC Championship game, so I do feel like the Lions got a little something going, but they're tied right now with the Bears.
Yeah. Stop Bears.
Can you do that sound you just did one more time? Because that might have been my Yeah, that was pretty good. Buccaneers just lost. I don't know that losing to the Patriots is a bad loss. Panthers are the team behind them. They looked awful against the Saints. And then you've got the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers all crammed into one division. These things will settle themselves, but I mean, 10
It
weeks.
seems like both of the West divisions in both the AFC and the NFC just stacked.
Yeah, the West Coast is the best coast, my friend.
course.
So looking at the way things set up for kind of what is the home stretch of the season, I love it, man. I'm all in, and I spent a big part of my morning today since I was at the game. You don't get to go and watch everything,
Right.
So all that is on my brain is NFL football, and I apologize for that. But just going back and watching all of these games, I think we've got a fairly clear order from a record standpoint of the haves and have-nots. But again, there's some teams that I didn't have on top of most of the divisions, and especially in the AFC. You got Patriots, Broncos, Colts. Those are your best records in football.
Nobody would have seen that coming.
It is nutty. All right, with that, let's take a walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk and see what we missed.
Well, this update brought to you by Grand Central Bowl Arcade and Sports Bar, your Ducks game day headquarters in Portland. First on The Fan. In this past weekend of college football, we saw some post-game scuffles at the FBS level. That was between Louisiana and Texas State. That one has resulted in suspensions for 13 players. And then also at the FCS level between HBCUs. But it's a pair of Division III schools that are facing the harshest punishment for a post-game melee. After Averett win over Guilford, a large-scale fight reportedly took place. I say reportedly because there is no known video of the incident.
Dang, Division III, somebody's got to get that on their phone.
Right? As such, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference decided to end the season for both schools.
Wow.
Guilford,
How about that?
Guilford was scheduled to play at Bridgewater College, while Averett was supposed to end their season hosting Roanoke, where they were set to honor their seniors on Senior Day. But the conference's press release does say the schools would be permitted to play each other again if they choose to do so.
Okay, so the fight was so bad we won't let you play anybody else, but if you guys would like to have another brawl and see if it turns into a football game, we'll let you do that.
Yeah, it's like your mom making you go shake your brother's hands after you get in a fight.
I guess so, but I don't think that ends well.
No.
And I can't imagine that the teams think that is a great idea.
I can't imagine they do
Wow,
either.
wild weekend in college football. Look
Right?
at that,
Yeah.
right when I give up on it.
More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7. The Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. Happy Hour with Luke Anderson. This is The Tape Don't Lie, where Luke answers for the dumbest things he said last week.
Wasn't he the white Jordan?
He's black.
Good luck, man.
Thank you. I'm a genius.
Expect a loss, yes, at the Browns this weekend. We will not be efforting towards a win. It will not help us. We want the first overall draft pick. And I know there's a lot of other bad teams, but we're just as bad as anybody, damn it.
Well, Luke, that is you from last Wednesday's subtext trying to speak for Aaron Glenn. You did not expect the New York Jets to try against the Browns. Do you want to apologize to the Jets and their fans for questioning their effort?
No, my favorite part about this is our good friend Jake, social media guy, just outside of the studio, hopefully listening. He goes, of course the Jets are going to win after I did that segment because that's what they do. They can't get out of their own way when it comes to draft picks. They are going to win 3 or 4 games. He correctly predicted, and of course they go out and they beat the Browns. So I won't apologize. If anybody should apologize to Jets fans, it's the Jets. You can't even be bad correctly. Do it right. What are you doing?
I just don't think that they're going to run away with the rest of the season like they did the front half. So I think you're going to play up against a team in Tampa Bay that wants to keep their distance and stay near the top of the NFC. That's a lot more competitive at the top. At least more teams kind of jumbled together. They have a chance to win the conference. So I think Tampa Bay is going to go out there and roll over the Patriots.
Well, Luke the Duke, that's you picking the Buccaneers to roll over the Pats. Obviously, you were wrong, kind of the whole point of this bit, yes?
Yeah, that checks out.
Yes. After yesterday's win, are you finally going to admit the Patriots are a contender in the AFC?
What's really strange, I mean, we just went through it. If you have Patriots, Colts, Broncos all hold, you're going to have one of them get the bye, and you get into the playoffs. And unfortunately, I think it sets up really well for teams that have playoff experience, which probably means the Kansas City Chiefs get in there and just kind of go and feast on these teams that don't feel real yet.
Right.
So the Patriots beat the Bills head-to-head. And that one got my attention, but the Bills just lost to the Dolphins.
Yes.
So I don't know what that means. And maybe it's just one of those weird seasons where there's a lot of teams that are good and a lot of teams that are bad, but there's no one real great team, and there's not one really awful team except for maybe the Titans, who didn't get the memo that all the teams were going to lose this week, and they shouldn't take a bye week this week, but they should have changed out of it. So I don't know. It is a very, very strange thing to look at the top of these divisions. It's confusing me, and I'm not sure what to do it. But I'm looking forward to Bills Patriots round 2. That's for sure.
Commanders are going to host the Detroit Lions. They got murdered on their own field last week. They can't do that 2 weeks in a row, can they? The Lions had kind of an upset loss to the Vikings. In the Dan Campbell era, they have not lost back-to-back games. I'm going to take the Lions. Do they win by as much as the Seahawks did in the nation's capital? I doubt that.
Well, there, Lukey Pukey. There you are, claiming only the Seahawks would be capable of crushing Washington at home. Did you overvalue the Commanders or undervalue the Lions?
I don't know, man. I would expect a team that gets whooped up like that to come out and put out a better effort. I know you have your backup quarterback, but it's not like Marcus Mariota is incapable of going out and leading that offense. But the Lions, I think I undervalued. They've been kind of floating around the middle of their division, their conference, and they were really good last year. I mentioned it in the clip that they don't lose 2 games in a row. So having them have the ability to go out and bounce back shouldn't have been surprising for me. The Commanders are in disarray right now. You can tell by them punching people instead of playing defense. They're like, I'm going to take the rest of the game off and get out of there. So yeah, no, I think the Lions wanted to let everybody know that they are as good and as mean as they've been throughout the tenure of Dan Campbell. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lions do the rest of the way, and I'm going to remind myself not to tune in to any more Commanders game. I know it's the early game next week, but I think I might choose to sleep in.
I am going to take the Steelers. What they did to the Colts last week has me thinking that they might have figured something out on defense. I didn't need them to get 6 turnovers every week. I just needed them not to be terrible, to like have some faith that they can do what Tomlin teams do. I don't think they do the same thing. It ends up being a little bit closer. I will take the Steelers.
Well, there, Lukester, there you are putting faith in the wrong yellow pants. Who do you have more faith in now, the Steelers or Chargers?
The Steelers, they just pop up and have the best game of the year against a team that's kind of running away with everything. The only one-loss team last week, and they annihilated them. And I've actually got the replay on in the studio, and I know that they ended up making it a little bit closer at the end. But there is not a player that they have showed on the Steelers side that doesn't have their head hanging in some fashion throughout this game. And the Chargers just look like the better, more confident team. If you told me that one of these teams had been suffering injury after injury after injury, and the other team was leading their division, I would have had them mixed up just by going into this game the way it is. So it's a strange one, but hey, if the AFC West is as good as we think it is, it's going to come right down to the wire with that division, and you may end up having 3 teams representing the division in the playoffs, which will be fine in my book. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens. I want the Chargers to finally get over the hump. I thought this might be one of the games that they kind of stub their toe a little bit and start to fall back, but they stepped up and played awesome. So for a team that rents space in Los Angeles, they're just as entertaining to watch as the team that is the actual home team down there. So both teams really good in Los Angeles.
I don't know what's more surprising, the Bears or the Panthers, but the Saints are terrible, so the Panthers will win that game. Nobody's taken the Dolphins over the Bills except for maybe my mother, who is a Dolphins fan and plays to pick 'em every week. Thank you, Mother, for playing.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes, sir.
There you are, very quickly giving the Dolphins and Saints 0 chance. I don't think we can really kill you too much for that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question I do have is, did your mother actually pick the Dolphins?
She did not.
Ugh.
She failed to pick her favorite team,
Oh, man.
and that was the only game, I believe, in the pick'em that nobody picked the correct winner.
Wow.
So you had Miami win this week.
Mhm.
You had the Jets win this week. You had the Saints win this week. And the Titans sitting at home just looking at it going, man, if ever we were going to play a week where we had a chance to win, this would have been it. So now the Titans, the only 1-win team, they may end up getting the back-to-back number 1 overall picks, which always is a good sign that your franchise is going in the right direction.
Yes.
I believe they've already fired their coach, so that feels pretty good. The coach that they fired for being too tough has the best record or is tied for the best record in football.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. So I think sitting at home is the team that actually performed the worst, and they didn't even get a chance to perform. What I really want to know, was there anybody sitting on a parlay ticket for Jets, Saints, Dolphins, and what on earth could that have paid out on?
Right? No kidding.
I mean,
well, yeah.
jeez.
Go buy that Mega Millions ticket
Yeah.
if you got that one.
I looked for the story. I was like, let me see if anybody like cashed in big on that. But yeah, if you'd have picked those 3 games, it would have been shocking. It shouldn't have been that surprising. At least 2 of the games. Browns are bad. Panthers are a team that should not be trusted. But that Dolphins win, I did not see that coming. And it was funny because they fired their general manager already, right? They said that they're going to stay with Mike McDaniels through the end of the season because they didn't want to bring in another coach and get that new coach bump or interim coach bump and have to pay that guy to stay around. I'm going to be honest. What do you do if Mike McDaniel finishes the season strong? Do you run it back with him? I don't expect it to happen, but that is a big win.
But they've been so dysfunctional this year, too.
If they rattle off 6 straight wins, 7 straight wins to finish the season or something ridiculous like that, or if they go out there and even just are competitive the rest of the way and look like a functional football team, is it possible that you see that guy come back?
The Miami Jekyll and Hydes?
I'll tell you, they definitely are. That's for sure. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our lovely Tape Don't Lie segment. Thank you for playing along with that. Hopefully nothing we said there will turn into the show that we do next week, but let's be honest, it probably will. I'm pretty dumb. But right now we need to grab one more for the road. We do it next. You are listening to Happy Hour on 105.1 and The Fan Sports Network.
Relax, hot shots.
Welcome back to the Fan Happy Hour. We're about to wrap things up.
Maybe you guys like what I have so far?
Wicked woman, cool creams and misters. You got a cool spell on me.
Let's grab one more for the road.
Come on, everybody. Everything's smooth.
Here's Luke Anderson.
Well, this week has been an interesting week for football, and it wraps up tonight with Take Your Pick. Jake taking on Sam. Should be a fun one. Jake on the Packers, Sam on the Eagles. So if you haven't played along, play along with us every Thursday. We'll try to get those out later. But before we get into your one more for the road, Mr. Rust, tell me, what are the people saying out there?
This one coming in on the text machine. I'm going to withhold comment afterward because I do not want to pile on. Am I stupid after just finding out Berlin is in Germany? Could have swore they were their own country until this weekend's game. LOL.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's you are a I don't know, man. World geography is one of those things where I don't really pile on anybody for that because I have no idea. Like, if you had to go through and match cities to countries or countries to like a blank map, have you ever tried to play that fun little exercise?
That was the final exam in my, was it 8th or 9th grade world geography class, was filling in a blank map of the world.
And how would you do on that?
And fortunately, it was before the USSR broke up and all those kinds of things broke up. But actually, I got 100%.
Did you really? Congratulations. Yep. I did the old 100% on the states and state capitals and had that memorized. But I don't know that that's necessarily a knowledge thing or just you're good at memorizing things.
I did have to, however, fight over Vietnam because on my globe they had it hyphenated, so I hyphenated it on the sheet. And so I said, hey, this is my globe.
Americans always fighting over Vietnam.
He's like, all right, I'll give you that one then.
So if we gave you the test right now, how would you do?
Not great, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
On the YouTubes, I still don't get why Oregonians support Washington sports. I want every Seattle sports team to lose every game.
Well, that's perfectly fair, and I understand your point. I, sir, am a Washingtonian.
There you go.
I grew up and I live now in Vancouver, Washington. So that makes it easy for me to support the state's teams. So apologies for traveling across the river into Oregon to speak about sports. My bad.
And then Logan on here saying, sadly, 44-22, not a scoregami.
Well, then I was misinformed. Well, yes. Even if it was.
Well, I went and looked it up.
The second one wouldn't have been a scoregami, so whichever game finished first.
I went and looked it up and found the scoregami account on Twitter.
Yeah.
And they had it got community noted and saying this is not 44-22 is not a scoregami.
Oh, so they went and scoregami said it was, and then somebody went and corrected.
Correct. So we had yesterday's 2 games of 44-22.
Yeah.
Previously, there was one last month. The Cowboys beating the Commies 44-22.
So that's the second time the Commanders lost 44-22 this season?
Yes, in the last month.
How about that?
And then in 1967, the Oakland Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs 44-22.
Well, there you have it. So whoever was putting up that was a scoregami, I appreciate the fact that fans are so quick to correct those things. All the other things that we said wrong just got past the radar, but scoregamis people take very seriously.
Oh, yeah. Don't mess with the scoregami.
No, I'm not. I heard it secondhand, so I just thought I would pass it along because I thought that would be pretty hilarious if you had it. But only 4 times for a score to show up.
Yeah.
Is always fun. I wonder how many scoregamis are left, and is that something that is posted on there? Because like I said, it's not something that I've ever paid that much attention to. I just thought it would be funny if what I was told was that it was a scoregami and happened twice yesterday. So that I found interesting, but I've never actually really gotten on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many possibilities there could be left, but it does say it said it was the 1,094th unique final score in NFL history, but so apparently we're still at 1,093.
There you have it. All right, let's do one for the road. After some strange results in the NFL this week, what do you expect for Monday Night Football? Has the week that was in the sport, does it affect how you expect the next game to go? I know there's no possible way that it does.
Right.
But like when you come into this game, these are 2 teams that are battling for first place. So I guess you can't really have too crazy of a result. But what would be the most fitting result for this weekend?
Oh boy, probably like a 52-3 win for the Packers or something.
Just go out and absolutely crush the Eagles and just leave us all scratching our heads.
Or the Eagles come out and every single down they just run the tush push.
That actually would be less surprising than the Packers winning 52-14 or whatever, or 44-22.
There we
they
go.
go out and they do that. I don't know what I'm really expecting from this game. I mean, the Packers have befuddled me all season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got some really bizarre losses. They've got
Yes.
some nice wins. They've got that tie against the Cowboys. So whatever they look like, I guess I won't really be that surprised. The Eagles are another weird one where they never look good, but they win. So,
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of how you feel it might go, but I don't have a good beat on it, my friend. It's and I don't know what I want. I think I'm sick of this Eagles team. But at the same time, I don't want them to just fade away. I'd like to see them get beat on the biggest stage. I expect them to be a playoff team. I don't think, Giants just fired their coach.
Mhm.
Commanders are obviously in a tailspin, and nobody's rooting for the Cowboys. So that leaves the Eagles to win the division, right?
Right.
So you expect them to be in there at the end, but I would like to see them just get crushed in a playoff game. I think that would be fantastic. I think that's the fitting end to their season. I think I'm rooting for the Lions to win the Central, but the Bears are one of those surprise teams. They just find ways to win at the end. Helps when you play the Giants. Yeah. But you've got them out there winning. The Vikings, I don't think are going to be in it at the end. So that gives you Packers, Lions, Bears.
Oh my.
I know. I think I'll take the Lions out of that, but a division that was really in it till the very end. You had 3 teams fighting for that number 1 spot at the end of last season, including the Vikings with Sam Darnold. So I'll take a Packers win tonight is I think the way I'll be rooting. But I want them to go out there and just kind of put a whole complete game together and just go out there and look good because I just think it makes it more interesting as we go down the stretch. You feeling me?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like also the spread on this one has flipped. If I remember correctly, when I started my updates today, the Packers were, they remain at 1.5 point favorites, but on ESPN, they have the Eagles as 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah,
so that's a 3-point swing.
Well, and it's still saying ESPN Bet. I thought they switched over to DraftKings. What are we looking at now?
Well, so I'm looking on the ESPN NFL scoreboard page, and that's where I found the ESPN one saying the Eagles -1.5. And then I see DraftKings has the Packers -1.5.
Okay. Well, that's what you got. I'm just looking through, and these teams are pretty even. You've got 2 quarterbacks that are playing pretty good. You've got 2 running backs that are running the ball well. So you've got Saquon Barkley is 519 yards on the season, and Jacobs is 534 yards. I mean, these teams look pretty even as it pencils out. So as we go into tonight's game, I mean, hell, anything can happen. I hope it finishes with kind of a little bit of a competitive game at the end. I mean, we started yesterday off with a game that went into overtime, and then we had some, just like I said, weird results across it. The Bears had to overcome a last-second victory, but that's what the Giants do, is cough those away. Were you surprised that Daboll was fired?
No, I was surprised that it was only Daboll that was fired, and they didn't get rid of the GM too. And they're
just
allowing
clean
him
house.
to pick the new head coach.
Isn't it funny how this year every team is taking different strategies on the way they fire their leadership teams? I mean, the Dolphins fire the GM, come out immediately and say they're keeping the coach.
Yeah.
The first firing was Tennessee, who had the number 1 overall pick. It's playing a rookie quarterback, has a bad team, and they do it that way. And now the Giants, they fire Daboll, and they're going to keep the GM and let him pick the new coach and do all of that. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way to do this. Obviously, things aren't going correctly if you're firing coaches or GMs anyways.
Right.
But, yeah, that was kind of a surprise. The other guy that it feels like he's very much on the hot seat is Jonathan Gannon, and with the Cardinals. I mean, that was a bad loss last night, but does he get a pass because of the quarterback situation? You got Kyler Murray, and you got to figure that out. Do you fire a GM there first, or what do you do there?
I mean, boy, yeah, that Arizona's a mess.
But they also just play in a really tough division. Until last night, their point differential was positive. They had lost 5 games by like a score each.
Yeah.
And less than that, it was 1-point games and 2-point games.
And they're playing better under the backup than their starter.
But yesterday they did not. Again, 2 forced fumbles that turn into touchdown returns is never a good way to end the game. But yeah, I don't know what you do or what the best way to figure this out is, because it's not like college coaches where you can give them, I guess, a little leeway where it's like the earlier you get rid of a guy, then you can start to figure out who your coach is and you can get into the recruiting season. Mm-hmm. NFL coaches don't have to worry about that. So firing a guy mid-season has never made a ton of sense. But the two of the 3 teams that won yesterday that we were kind of laughing about, the Saints and the Jets, get rid of a bunch of guys. So now you have guys going out there and trying to make a name for themselves. I can justify that. You go and get rid of some of your better players and you put a guy in there that goes, all right, well, they just got rid of our guys. That shows what the league thinks of us and what our team thinks of us. Let's go out there and play. And you can get a little bump and just go out and play well because you're not the normal starter or whatever it is. A team rallies around the guys that they have. NFL is the not-for-long league for a reason. These guys are all playing for their next contract. So you're never going to have a moment where a team goes out and puts out 0 effort. Firing the coach, I know that it feels like there's a little bit of a bump, but I don't know if I buy that one. The getting rid of guys, that I feel like is a thing. Playing well with a backup quarterback, that one I can figure out. I think you're playing for yourself. I think you're playing for your guys. I would guess that in situations where the coach is really dysfunctional, maybe that's the case, but that's what I thought Miami was.
Right. Well, like in Arizona too, you wonder, do you just start all over, get rid of the GM, get rid of the head coach, start over with a new quarterback? But then the problem is, how great is this next year's quarterback class going to be?
I don't know. I always do a bad job of trying to figure that out anyways. Yeah. This college football season going into it, who were the guys that were going to be great? DJ Lagway and Arch Manning and whoever else. It feels like everybody kind of faded away. Dante Moore was going to win a Heisman Trophy until they're not sure if he's the right guy or whatever it is. So there's
are we looking at, Fernando Mendoza or Ty Simpson or Julian Sayin as I guess Sayin's young, but
Simpson I think is one of those guys, but I don't know. And how often do they get it dead wrong? Have the guy go out there. The other thing that's happening in the NFL that is insane to watch is all these guys in their second, third go-arounds. Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind. Baker Mayfield is great. You've got, old faces in new places, and they seem to do well. I can't figure it out. We didn't accomplish anything here today to figure out the NFL, but I know we've got another game tonight, so we'll sit back, we'll watch, and we'll enjoy. Thank you, Russ. Glad to have you back. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And, of course, thank you, Isaac Robb. We are all done for now. Bye-bye.
You must always face the curtain with a bang.